Well, welcome back, race fans, to another episode of Doug and Drivers. And today we have an Indy 500 winner with us, our 2022 champion, Marcus Ericsson. Marcus, we're getting ready for 2025, another opportunity for you to become a two-time winner in the Indianapolis 500. I know the last couple of years are not exactly the way you wanted them to be. You've certainly been competitive, but last year, just getting in the field was a struggle. How are the emotions as a champion dealing with trying to make sure you've got the speed to even make the race?
Yeah, it was a roller coaster, to say the least, last year. And I think going through it was extremely tough. Like you said, the last couple of years before that, I was fighting for the win. And then suddenly I'm standing there with, a very real chance of missing out, even making the race. And in a way, it shows, the highs and lows that the Speedway brings, and it makes me now, when I look back to it and have some distance to it, it makes me appreciate the Speedway and the race even more. So it's cool. I did make the field, thankfully, but it was definitely emotions running high there during the month of May.
So what happens that night? You've made the show, you went through all those emotions. What'd you do that evening? You just go home and sit? Do you have a drink? Do you go to bed? I mean, what's going through your body and your mind physically and mentally?
Yeah, I mean, it was super draining, so I was pretty drained out, especially mentally, after that weekend. And thankfully I had my wife there, Iris, so we just went back to the house and just got away from the track for a few hours and just, we live here in Indy, so just went home and just sort of switched up for a bit because it'd been like full on for days. So that was good, and then we could sort of recharge and start looking forward to the race. So it was, an eventful qualifying weekend for sure.
And I know the race didn't start the way you wanted to start.
It was the shortest one.
It was very short, and I know it wasn't anything at your fault, really. I mean, you got caught up in somebody else's incident, a little bit frustrating. The one takeaway that I loved about it, though, was the emotion that you showed, which really tells, how much that race means, but all the effort you put in to make the show, and then to have somebody else kind of ruin your day.
Yeah, it was very tough because not only for me, that's the thing, that race, it's for so many people, right? Yep. It's for the fans, it's for everyone, but also the teams. People have to understand how much time they, from the checkered flag at the 500, teams start working towards the next 500 already then. It's a year-round project, and to get taken out in turn one, lap one of the race was just heartbreaking on a personal level, but also for all the people in the team. So it was really tough, especially after we had, like you said, worked our way into the field. We'd had some really good practice sessions, and carb day was actually looking really good. Yep. So we sort of got the car back to a place where I was like, all right, we might start in the back, but hey, we can have a strong race and mix it up towards the end. And then, it's ended in, already when it just started. So it's disappointing, but that's how it goes sometimes.
It's one of the frustrating things certainly about having to wait a whole another year to run the Indianapolis 500. It's also what makes it so special. But you're in pretty good company, and by that I mean there are a lot of drivers who've won and finished 33rd. So Howdy Wilcox, a lot of these names you're not going to know unless you're a huge history buff, but Jimmy Bryan, Sam Hanks, Tom Sneva is the first driver to go over 200 miles an hour. But maybe even better, 2 3-time winners, Bobby Unser and Johnny Rutherford, both have won and finished last. 2 of those guys won 3 times, so certainly doesn't mean that you can't pick up a couple more wins. So as you go into 2025 in Indianapolis, what's your goal? You want to get up front and win it again, I assume.
The goal is to win. There's no doubt about it, especially when you have won it once and now, you know how, it's hard to describe. It's hard to put into word, but you know that feeling of winning the 500 and everything that goes into it. And it was just the best feeling ever. And this sort of year-long celebrations afterwards and everything. So I'm working every single day and night towards winning another 500, and that's what it drives me on all those tough gym sessions and all those hours you spend away from family, and everything in the back of my head is to win that next 500. So I think we're going to have a good chance this year. The team is putting a lot of work. We had fast cars already last year, and if we have a good, clean month of May, there's no doubt in my mind that we can be right up there and fighting for it.
So second year with the team, does that help you as well? Because it was a new team for you last year. You guys know each other. You've had a year together. Is that helpful as you go into 2025?
Very helpful. I think for me especially, I'm that kind of person. I need a bit of stability. I need to know the people I work with, and it's always been that throughout my career. I don't like jumping in somewhere and just going full attack straight away. I want to feel comfortable in my surroundings, and I've had that year to sort of get that feeling, and I think what we went through in month of May last year really helped us come together as a group as well. So I'm excited about it. I really feel like, you know, we're gonna come back to every track now, and especially the 500 for a second time, knowing what we did last year is just gonna help us tremendously.
You generally had a pretty strong year, especially the back half of the season for you. I think that as you go into the season probably gives you a lot more confidence to run up front and contend for a championship, not just an Indy 500 win.
100%. I think, you know, last year was definitely a building year, but the potential was there. We were fast on every type of track. It was, you know, a first for me with the team on every track, but I felt like the speed was there, which was really promising. And as a team, we were strong as well. You know, Colton finished second in the championship. Cal was also up there, really strong all year. So we have a really strong group of drivers and team members. And for me to go into a year two with that group, it's really, really exciting.
So you now are a Hoosier. You live in Indiana. You get a chance to spend time at home and all of that. How are things? How do you enjoy the Midwestern lifestyle?
I love it, and my wife loves it as well. You know, we have our house here in Indy, and that's the thing. Like now in the holidays, we went back to Sweden and Denmark and was spending time there with family. But I just couldn't wait to get back to Indy. You know, I wanted to get back to Indy, get into my routines in my house, and just, you know, it's home for us, and we love it.
And you spend a lot of time with the shop, I assume, or get a chance to be with the guys and.
Yeah, that's, you know, that was the big reason why we moved here now 6 years ago, was to be close to the track and to the team and all that. But now also we do spend a lot of time there, but we also just enjoy living here in Indy.
So we open up the new museum April 1st. That Borg Warner will be on display again. When you see the Borg, do you go check out and make sure your face is still there? Or can you walk by that and look at that trophy and not want to stop and see your face on it?
That's difficult to not do. You know, like I like to. I mean, the Borg Warner trophy is just iconic. You know, so every time I see it, it's definitely sort of takes your breath away. Even though you've seen it 100 times, it's still so special. And to have your face there is. It's still something you have to pinch yourself when you think about it. And like we talked about, I want to add another face on that Borg Warner here in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. So there you have it, race fans. Marcus Ericsson, our 2022 champion, finished second in 2023 at a difficult 2024. But one thing we know about this guy, he knows his way around the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. He is super fast and definitely will be a contender to win the 109th running of the Indianapolis 500 presented by Gamebridge. And until next time, this is Doug and Drivers.